Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. Today I've presented to you a transfer targets video where I will be ranking the transfer targets for the upcoming game week 29 in a tier list. I will be solely focusing on 29. Yes, I will mention the future fixtures, but the main target is going to be 29 as it's a very big blank and most of you are making some small transfers in order to replace the players that are blanking, and we will wildcard in 30 or 31, so that's a very small sample. If you want to support me and show your appreciation, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 5k. I have plenty of work to do still, but I'm going to grind it as hard as possible, and with your help I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to first analyze the fixtures today, and I'm going then to tier list the transfer targets. I think it's going to be a very good video, so stay tuned up until the end and let's go and analyze those fixtures. Looking at the fixtures for game week 29, I see some obvious targets, of course, to bring into the team, but some odd fixtures here and there may surprise us a lot. Starting with Everton versus West Ham, I really do believe that West Ham are heavy favorites in, not heavy favorites, but favorites in that fixture. West Ham lost to Newcastle while Everton drew to Wolves, but I still believe that West Ham will score goals and will do well. Of course, Everton are obviously able to score goals also, so don't rule them out. As with Moyes, they have been a different team, and step by step they are improving and adding more and more quality to their attacking ranks, but still do believe that West Ham will win that fixture. Moving in my favorite game for the upcoming week, Ipswich versus Nottingham Forest. Here I see Forest as the clear favorite. I know that it's away from home and the team is a little bit not so certain to win when there is a away fixture, but still I really do believe that Ipswich will struggle and Forest will win that fixture. Then we move to Manchester City versus Brighton, and here I do believe that this fixture is not going to be as one-sided as a lot of people do believe, because Brighton have been amazing, probably in the best run of their season and in the best form in the league. I think there are 4 victories in a row after that thrashing against Forest, so they bounced back and they're in contention for the Europe spots also, so it's going to be a very good fight with Manchester City. But at home I do believe that City will do quite well. Moving then to Southampton versus Wolves, I see Wolves here as favorites, but I won't be surprised if Southampton surprises Wolves. Of course, I'm not going to pick any players from Southampton, as I do believe that are a team to target, but Wolves on the other side, I really do believe that may struggle, but have some players that can do some job, and I'm going to showcase them to you. Then moving into Bournemouth versus Brentford, I really do believe that fixture is a little bit iffy and a little bit 50-50. I think both teams are capable of scoring. Both teams are a little bit shaky in defense as of recent, so for now I think targeting players from their attack is going to be vital. There are some specific defenders from one team that are good to target, but for now I really do believe that the main focus should be the attackers. Then moving into the Sunday fixtures, it's Arsenal versus Chelsea. I honestly don't know what to believe there. I think I will be quite surprised to see either team winning it comfortably, so maybe a 0-0 or a 1-1 is going to be a result that I will be looking for, but not a lot of players are on the radar for me from that fixture. Moving to Fulham versus Spurs, I expect Fulham to be an okay team to target, but I really don't know who to target there apart from one particular player. Well, Spurs will rotate depending on how well they do in Europe, but they have shown that the focus is Europe this season, so with that focus I think they will be struggling in that London derby. Of course, Leicester versus Manchester United, there is a heavy favorite in Manchester United, but Leicester have proven that they can keep a clean sheet up until a certain extent, and if they manage to go and do it for 80-85 minutes, then it's going to be real hard for United to win that game. But on the other side, United can just go and trash Leicester like that with the specific magic from Bruno Fernandes that can do pretty well. So I think the fixtures, West Ham are winning, Forest are winning. It's going to be tough to predict. City versus Brighton, then it's a tough prediction for Southampton Wolves, but I am going to give the advantage to Wolves. I expect a lot of goals in Bournemouth versus Brentford. Arsenal Chelsea, I expect a low scoring game. Fulham Spurs, it's unpredictable, and Leicester United, I think that United are winning. So let's go and see the tier list, and let's see how the players will feature in those fixtures, as I really do believe that there are some players that you should target and you should be aiming to get, because they're not only good for 29 but for 30 and even for 31. Here is how the tier list is looking today. I have only 4 categories because I won't will not get you a bad player in that list, for example, that's not playing. And the pool of players is restricted because we have only 16 teams playing and we don't have that many good fixtures for some of them. So yeah, now you've probably been treated with 5 categories before, but I think 4 is more than enough and will do the job. Of course, you see the players that are appearing and the players that I'll be talking about. So if you want to skip to a specific player, you can do that and proceed forward. Starting first with Evan Nilsson, he is back from injury from Bournemouth, and I will be moving him into the options category. Today, I believe that Evan Nilsson is good option, but it's not a great or a top pick to go because they are better forwards, they're better Bournemouth players, and at the end, I really do believe that it's good to have him, but it's nothing too amazing to own at the moment. Moving next to Garnacho, I'm moving him into the max section. I think he can produce a very good return and a very great performance, but at the end of the day, I'm quite hesitant. Should I at least target United apart from Bruno or not? But Garnacho may get rotated even though there are not a lot of players playing. Sometimes they're playing with Højlund, Zirkzee and Bruno. Sometimes it's Garnacho, Højlund and Bruno, or Højlund and Zirkzee. It's all kind of rotations. They're focusing Europe also, so I think Garnacho will be utilized there. But for now, I will be aiming for the option in Garnacho as a mech option, and I would not go there if I were you. Next up, moving to Stradwarsen, I really do believe that he's also a mech option. He may not play. Now with some injuries, he of course is in very high contention to start, but still it's Stradwarsen, it's nothing that too amazing, and still do believe there are far more amazing mid attackers that you can target in that week, and he should not be the top priority for you. Next up, we have Mazraoui, who is a player that I will move into the options section. Once again, I really do believe that they are better defenders. They are options that you can go for. United are not particularly great in any sense or shape or form, so I really do believe that you can do better than Mazraoui. But it's Leicester and he played very well against Arsenal. He was advanced, he was trying to mimic the performance by Munoz. He's on a very inferior level, but still trying to mimic those chances. I still do believe that he can get you some returns, but I do believe that they are better defenders and he should not be the top priority. Moving next, another Wolves players. This is Munetsi. If you don't know him, is a winger that they brought and he's playing well, but he got an injury. That's why he's in the mech category. I would have said that he's in the great option because he's cheap. He's plays Southampton and he's nailed because they have suspension to Cunha. But now with his injury, I don't think that he is an option anymore. Of course, you have to monitor the press conferences and what the manager says, but at the moment I would be keeping him in that position. Moving into another meh player is Savinho, because I really do believe that there are better City options. Of course, if you're looking for a cheap option, he's okayish, but he might not start. He may start this week, may not start the other one. You don't know what's happening. And in midfield, you have so many great options that I'm going to present to you that Savio or Savinho, however you want to call him, just does not make the cut. Not because he's not good enough, but I think they are way better players. And I think that you can get some solid attacking returns if you bet on the Man City, but not on the Savio pick. Moving next to Joao Pedro, I really do believe that he is in the options category. Now, I benched him last week and he hurt me because he scored a penalty. And that's it. He's on penalties and he can always produce some attacking return. But to some extent, I would argue that he might get benched or he might subbed off earlier, depending on how he plays. If they're conceding a lot of goals, he might be gone. A lot of things may change around, and for me, it's a risky move to go for Pedro this week. Of course, I've seen several players go for him and recommend him. Yes, it's a good option, but for now, it's an option. It's not great. It's not top priority in my opinion. There are several forwards that are in front of him, and at the moment, he is going to remain at this spot. First, we have our top priority pick, and that's Guardio. If you're looking for an expensive defender to replace Trent and you don't want to spread the funds elsewhere, Vardy was your guy. I really do believe that this guy is born to play that left back position so well and so offensively. This guy is just amazing, amazing pick. And he has Brighton and then Leicester at home. I think two amazing fixtures. So I would argue that he should be a very, very top priority, and I don't think anyone can argue with that. Moving next to Kluivert, I will put him in the great option. I know that this is controversial, but I really do believe that they have some kind of a difficult fixture because uh, Brentford are not a team to just go out and crush. I think that they sometimes can perform. I don't know if they will go with the five at the back Brentford system or they will treat the Bournemouth game not as a top game. I really do believe Bournemouth is a top side. So Kluivert may struggle a little bit. Of course, he's on penalties and he's on the top of the list of the great options. But for now, he's on that spot because I think, sorry for that, there are far, far better players to target and to go for. Next up is Marmoush from Manchester City, and he enters the great picks because I think there are two forwards that are greater than him to pick. You see them in a second. And for now, I think he is a great option because he plays very well. He has adapted very well, and I very much enjoy how he plays. And of course, he plays for Manchester City. And last time when they didn't start him, they struggled against Forest. So I do believe against Brighton he's starting, and I have a feeling that he will score some goals. So if you're looking for a great forward option, it's Marmoush, and if you can afford the guy that's above him, and of course if you have the other one, I know that you know what I'm talking about, but still Marmoush a very, very solid option. Another very, very solid option is Wissa. I think he's below Marmoush because Brentford are struggling a little bit and the fixture run is awful after that, but still for 29 Wissa is a great option. I don't know if I have to say a lot about him anymore, but yeah, I really, really do believe that having Wissa in your team is a good thing, and Brentford in general tends to play very well when they're against a good opposition, so I would argue that he should be here. Now moving into an option pick, it's Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think he's an option only. He has a possibility for a double, it's not confirmed, but possibly you can get him on a wild card. He plays very well on that wing back position. He's nailed. He's getting some clean sheets here and there, like not last time, but the week before. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka, great option, great thing to have. And yeah, I like him. I don't know if you do cheap option as Mazraoui, probably prefer Mazraoui more, but for now, Aaron Wan-Bissaka will do a job in that department. Moving swiftly into the next player being Beto, another player that enters the option category. I know that it's quite strange to say he's an option, but West Ham, I know that I've said Wan-Bissaka is an option, and I really do believe that he is. But at the moment, I still think that Beto can produce some magic and some great, great options. So picking Beto, I don't think it's wrong move to do. I don't think that it will change something for your team if you do it. But yeah, he's an option. After that, the run is bad. But if you're looking for 29 only, Beto will do the job for you. Moving then swiftly to Ola Aina. I will surprise a lot of people, but I put him in the great category. I think he's too expensive to be a Forest defender. I think that Muriu, Milenkovic, Neco Williams, I think that they're both better options. And I still believe that Aina is good if you have the money, but if I'm spending 5.3, I would not spend it on a Forest player. Probably will get someone cheaper and he will do a similar job. I know that I've been hurt with Hoysen versus Kerkes, but I really do believe that you can you can save around 0.5 to 1 million by not going to Aina, so I think that yeah, pretty much does the job in my eyes. Moving next to a top pick, it's Bruno Fernandes, captain fantastic for Manchester United, the only player keeping them above the relegation battle. He can score a free kick, he can score a penalty, he can score from inside the box, outside of the box. Bruno Fernandes have been the only bright spark in that United team, and if you're going to target Manchester United as a team, to have Bruno Fernandes should be your guy. I don't know if you agree or disagree with me on that sentence, but I really, really do believe that Bruno should be your guy. Next up, we have Mbumu, and I'm putting him into the great category because if you're looking for a player on that price range, I think Bruno is better, and as a top pick, it is Mbumo. I've prepared, and I have a better option also in my eyes for that price. So yeah, for now, I really do believe that Mbumo enters the great category. If you have the options from above, Bruno enters the frame, but he's too expensive for my liking. Of course, a lot of things can change, a lot of things can happen, but for now, I really do believe Mbumo, great pick to have, as the fixture run turns for the worse. Next up, we have Cole Palmer, and he's in the meh category. If you have him, keep him. If you don't have him, don't get him. In my eyes, I don't believe that he is worth it, and I honestly don't believe that you can spend the money there at the moment. A lot of people are selling him. Yes, he can hurt all of the sellers, but at the moment, I honestly don't see a possibility for me to buy Palmer. I don't think it's worth it. If you have him, keep him. If you are not willing to sacrifice for one specific player that you're already seeing, but yeah, Palmer, it's okay to have. It's just a meh transfer target. Moving then up to the next player, a good option is Phil Foden if you believe he's starting. Phil Foden has been the best Premier League player last season, and that was not a small feat. I think that he will bounce back and he will have a great period, but only if you have the belief that he starts in the next couple of weeks. That's it. If you have the belief, you get him and you keep him. The only player from Arsenal making an appearance in my tier list is going to be Gabriel. I know that this sounds strange because Arsenal have some good players, but at the end of the day, they don't have an amazing fixture run. And yeah, I would be going only for Gabriel if I'm looking to invest. So yeah, Gabriel is put in that section. I really do believe that he's a great option, and I really do believe that if you have an issue with Arsenal players, Gabriel should be your guy. Moving next to Morgan Gibbs White, he's in the options category. He's at 6.5 something. Like, why the hell should I go for him? Of course, he takes a lot of set pieces. Of course, he takes a lot of chances. He can score. He can do a lot of damage, but he's expensive, and if I'm looking at that bracket, I will not be going for him. I will spend a little bit more money for someone else, for like Hoover, for even in Bumu if you have the money to go for, or one player that I'm going to discuss furthermore. So yeah, Morgan Gibbs White just does not make the cut. The only goalkeeper on the list is Matt Sales. I didn't want to recommend keepers because for a single week or one more, it's not worth to go for a keeper. But if you're really wanting to buy a keeper, there is only one option for me, and that's Matt Sales. Probably the best keeper in the league this year for fantasy, and probably outside the fantasy also. So I add him. I don't have to say anything too much about him, but still, I do believe that he is a great player to have. The best forward option to buy from Manchester City, of course, is Erling Haaland. That's why Palmer is at the bottom, because if you need to spend so much money, just go for Haaland. I think that Haaland is good. Haaland is the best captain option for the upcoming week. Probably one of the best captaincy option for game week 30 also. So having Haaland from this week, I believe it's a good fit, and you will be not making a mistake going there. Now I've added Nick Williams here, and he's in a top priority list because he's 0.9 cheaper than Ola Aina. That's hell of a lot of money to save for basically the same thing that you're getting from Ola Aina. That's why Aina is in the great pick, and that's why Nick Williams is in the top picks, because if you're looking for some Forest defenders, I think Sales and Nick Williams are the top two options. I've not included the center backs because I really do believe it's worth investing in the full back position. Next up, the only player from Wolves that I'm going to mention is Ait Nouri, and he's a top pick because this guy, if Munetsi is injured and it's Bellegarde or Sarabia on that spot, he is going to be so freaking offensive, and I cannot begin to describe how many attacking possibilities he can have, and he can do some serious damage. Of course, Ait Nouri is a little bit of a difficult pick to get or to target, but in my eyes, very solid option to go for, and you don't need to look any further away. Moving next to Semenyo, I'm moving him into the options bracket because he is a minutes freak. Don't get me wrong, he plays almost every single minute of every game, but at the end of the day, I'm aiming for players in a better form, and I think the players that I'm going to put above him are in a better form, so I'll be not looking to put him there. For now, of course, this can change. This can happen to a lot more players, but yeah, he remains into that category. Next up is Elanga from Nottingham Forest, and he also enters the options category, not because he's not great, but I think there is a better player from that team to invest into. I will get into why. So for now, he enters the options frame, and this will be his spot. For now, of course, you can interchange both of them if you want, but in my opinion, I think that is good. Then we go to Bowen, a top pick in my opinion. He's the best player outside of the top 6 in my personal view, and I just cannot start to describe how great this player is. He has been amazing throughout his whole career and throughout his whole stint at West Ham. So I would argue, if you're looking for a player outside of the top 6, currently Bowen is your guy. The top pick in my opinion this week is Chris Wood. I will put him in front of the class. This guy is the second best captaincy option, the cheapest captaincy option that you can go for. Everyone can afford him. Selling Cunha, Mateta, Gakpo, Isak, whoever you want, just get Wood. In my opinion, this guy is going to be so much owned this week that it is worth investing into, and he will have a very, very high ownership. Moving next into Heung-min Son, he enters the meh category because, as mentioned, Spurs are going to invest a lot of resources in the in what's the saying, in the tournament that they're playing, Europa League. Yeah, it went out of my head, but still I do believe that he can do some damage, but yeah, I will be just avoiding the Spurs assets, and that's all I need to say about them. Next up is Kerkez, a great option, as mentioned, one of the defenders that is putting him here. If you're looking for a Bournemouth defender, this is your guy. I went and saved some money with Huijsen, but that was a mistake, and yeah, if I can go back, I will pick Kerkez because this guy has been chipping some points here and there when you need him the most, while a guy like Huijsen has been blanking a little bit, but yeah, things change and bad things and bad outcomes happen. If you're looking for a Bournemouth defender, this is your guy. Next up, we're reaching the final 2 players. We add Hudson-Odoi. For me, he is the best Forest midfielder to go for this week. He's in form, scored in 2 in the last 3. I believe that this is a great feat, and you don't have to look anywhere further than that. Then pick Hudson-Odoi. He is the cheap enabler to go from Palmer to Haaland, and yeah, I think Hudson-Odoi will do the job for you. And the final player here is Raul Jimenez. He's in the options bracket. I don't know if he will be an option in 30, but in 29 against Spurs, I think he can score some goals and he can do some serious damage. This is the list. Put down in the comment section what do you believe about it, but I honestly will rank the players as they are. Probably will get top and great players into my team if I'm aiming for this week's transfers. I know most of you will be looking at free hit. I think the top row should be all included into the free hit, and you just add some players from the great list and the list is completed for you. I don't think you should be looking anywhere further than that. So yeah, I think the list makes itself. Put down a comment what do you believe in and what do you think about my tier list and how you would have reordered the players if you had the opportunity. As per usual, special shout out to the members of the channel. Thank you so much for being members. It means the world to me. Seth, Foreign, Zach, Oscar Papas, Kauser, Hem. Thank you so much. This really means a lot to me. If you guys want to become members, you can pick one of the options and you will become instantly and get all the perks that are coming with those levels. If you cannot afford to become a member or you don't want to spend the money, liking the video, it's completely fine. Commenting and most of all subscribing, because I'm aiming for those 5k and they're not going to happen in a single night. So I need to grind. But I know with your help, I'm going to do it. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Do all those free stuff. If you want to spend some money on me and help me continue investing in my channel, you can do that as well. Prepare for more UCL and FPL content because the blank week is coming. I'll be doing a very long deadline stream this weekend as I want to cover everything. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in and I hope to see you soon. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.